Hello, guys. We're going to give everyone just a couple minutes. We just finished up our quick team call, so I know I've got some of our girls that are switching gears and jumping over. And just sharing this. Again, you hear my printer? Printing is taking forever. Hey guys. Okay. Make sure if you want to make sure you've got your phone or if you have a second device to be able to do some of the stuff we're working on. Definitely a great idea to have some paper if you want to jot down some notes of things to do later. If you have got a planner or calendar type of a thing that is outside of electronics, go ahead and grab that. Grab some water. Right. And we are going to get started in just a second. It is already recording, so sorry for the recording that we waited a couple of minutes, but it is just now 8:30. So welcome to the first Power Hour of 2022. I am so excited that you are here. I am not Nicole Kinsler. She is one of my amazing uplines, and my name is Sally Lewis. For those of you who are not on my team or have not been able to see at a Plexus event before, I went diamond in 2020 and have been with Plexus since 2015. Yes, 2015. The end of August of 2015. So just over 6 years here. And I'm grateful for all of the learning. And I will tell you what every other diamond will also tell you is that it is a continual process of learning and growing and unlearning and maybe a setback, maybe an up and a down. But I just want to remind you that we do not live linear. You know what, like technically the trajectory we want to be is up, whichever way you're looking. But we live in seasons. And I think that that's biblical, that we will go through seasons, and God created seasons and uses seasons in our life for different reasons and different purposes. And so I want to encourage you all at the beginning of this whole year, right? 2022 is a completely new year for you. And it's a new year for you personally, for you spiritually, a new year for you in your business. And I just want to start off by reading a scripture that actually my friend Bethany had posted on her stories the other day, and I stole and then I posted it on my stories because that's what we all do, right? One Plexus. But it's the Bible, so she can't copyright it anyways. But it is Isaiah 43:18-19, and it says, "Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." And whatever you feel like this last couple of years has been for you. For some of us, we have had some amazing experiences. Some of us we've had some really maybe terrible things happen in your personal life or your business. But God is always doing a new thing. He is always moving, and in the seasons of our lives, he is always doing something. And so that's what we want to align our hearts with, is not to dwell on what gives us a spirit of fear or intimidation or a spirit of hesitancy. And I'm speaking to myself as well, just so you all know. Again, this is something that you will have to do and have to battle with, hopefully less and less and less if you continue to dig in and do the work now. But this stuff never goes away. This is heart work. This is mind work that you want to make sure that you can center yourself before you go after big goals in 2022, that you're expecting God to show up in your life and that you are meeting him there with diligence, with consistency, and with honestly, with faith, right? That you're believing that he is doing that new thing in you and that he is able. We have a lot of habits that are maybe to our core, things that we have done our whole lives. Maybe you feel like you are lazy, or you just can't get up early, or you can't do this. You've never been organized. All of those lies are, and it's just patterns, and we can unlearn those things and we can relearn new patterns. Part of that's going to be our 21 hard, right? So many people are jumping on this, and I keep seeing this graphic that says it takes 21 days to develop a new habit, and it takes 90 days to turn that into a lifestyle. And whether or not that's true specifically for 21 days and 90 days, I do know this: if we are consistently working to meet these new opportunities with diligence and with that mindset that is growth oriented instead of I'm stuck and I am who I am oriented, then we can develop new patterns, and that can encourage our businesses and our personal growth to move forward in that trajectory. So thank you for doing that with me. Some things that I just want to read through you. We tried to do something on our team that I have learned from our upline, Jessica Heffley, and in being a part of Cedar Rock Ministries, their marriage retreat. It's just a really good practice, is called the red dot. And just to take a red dot inventory of where you are, because if you don't know where you are, you don't know how to get where you're going, right? And so on our team, we have something called the monthly workflow, and we have some reset questions that we talk through. And I'm just going to take a few minutes because we've got an hour, so why not? And I'm just going to read through those. And whether you write some things down, or maybe you just write the questions down if you're a slower processor like me and you want to kind of contemplate and journal these things later, totally up to you. But I'm just going to run through. There's 10 things that we feel like are very helpful to recenter our mindset and our trajectory each month, but how much more important at the beginning of a brand new year. Okay. So number one, what are my current personal setbacks to growth? What are my current personal setbacks to growth? And you can, look back on what life maybe looked like in December, and maybe it's physical things around you, maybe it's scheduling, maybe it's the kids were out of school last month, and how is that going to change this month? But right now, what are your current personal setbacks to growth? Okay, number two is, and this is sometimes hard to brag on ourselves, right? But what are your top 3 strengths? So number 2 is my top 3 strengths are, and really think about this. You have them, so you're not allowed to say that you don't have them. Dig deep if you have to. Look at your life, and what are your top 3 strengths? What are the gifts that God has given you, and how do you use those? Some little thinking music here. If you hear that, it's not a spaceship. Okay, number 3, in 5 years, I see myself ... Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Relationally, spiritually, of course, in your business. What are some of the things that might change from how 2021 looks like to how you operate in the next 5 years? Are you in the same house? Are you in the same town? Are you working?
I had to mute you real quick. Can you repeat that question?
Yes, I mean, that is,
Thanks.
in 5 years, I see myself. So where do we see ourselves in 5 years? And just to piggyback on that question, hopefully in 5 years, you see yourself as a diamond. And if not, maybe for you, that's longer than 5 years, and that's okay. But when I see myself as a diamond, I see someone who is. So number 4 is when I see myself as diamond, I see someone who is. These types of questions were always fun to me because I think it's so much more multifaceted than what we see diamonds like on social media. Maybe it's more than what you see. I mean, this is a hat I never wear. I have fake hair because I went to the steam room and all of my hair fell out because of COVID. Like, it's more than social media. What do you see yourself as? Like, who will you be? What growth will you have done? What impact will you be making? What will other people see and feel your presence as when you reach that level where you have thousands of people on your team that are looking to you and are grateful because you stepped out and shared something in the lives that have changed? What will that look and feel like internally, not just, I'm going to look like Bridget Ryan, hopefully, when I continue to age as gracefully as she has. And then number 5, what am I doing every day to become that person? This soundtrack is making it seem so wonderfully dramatic, and I love it so much because I am a 5-wing 4 on the Enneagram, if you didn't know. What am I doing every day to become that person? If you see yourself when you're a diamond being some sort of spiritual mentor or, leadership guru or, a good friend or a great hostess or hospitality or any of these things that you're seeing yourself as, we don't just magically become those people. I can definitely say that I'm still working to become a lot of the things that I thought that I would just magically have when I went diamond. But guess what? My rank doesn't change or I don't change just based on my rank, right? The hard work is the hard work. And that's what we have to do every day to earn those things that you want to see in yourself in 5 years or when you become a diamond. We have to start working toward those things today, including the hard work of growing your business, but also of unlearning thought processes and unlearning behaviors that we've done and unlearning laziness and fear and all of these things to grasp what courage feels like and what putting other people before you and managing your time well. All of these things, you don't just get them at the snap of a finger. So what am I doing every day to become that person? Are you carving out time to work on those things that you want to see in yourself when you're a diamond? Are you reading the books that you need to read? And that was always a big one for me. And I was never reading the books. I was never doing that personal development. And those are things that I'm making sure to push myself toward now. Flowing into number 6, what are you currently reading? Part of our 21-day hard challenge is going to be reading 10 pages or listening to a podcast. So what are you reading? Leaders are learners. Jessica Heffley has said that from the beginning. And I avoided doing that personal growth for a really long time in my business because I thought I could just get as far as I could on what I had. And you know what? It kept me stuck for a long time. I was Emerald for 3 years. And while I was in a season of rebuilding, I think a lot of that did have to do with the things that I avoided in my personal growth and things that I avoided doing relationally and things like that could have helped me in those stuck seasons. So what are you choosing to read this quarter? And maybe let's just add to that, how many books are you going to read in 2022 that are going to help you become the person you want to be when you're a diamond? Number 7, blank is a sideline accountability partner that pushes and encourages me. We are not on this journey alone, friends, okay? And it doesn't matter who your sponsor is. It doesn't matter who your downline is. If you don't have someone that you can really lock arms with, who can tell you the hard things, who can push you in a great competitive but kind way, you need to find that person. You need to reach out to some of your sidelines or reach out on your team threads and say, who's looking for a partner? I'm ready to go gold, or I'm ready to go senior ruby. And I need someone who's going to help keep me accountable to do my IPA every day and check in with me. Like, who's running, because you want to run together. Number 8, am I making time to fill my cup with things that are important to me? Am I making time to fill my cup with things that are important to me? And part of that is, what is important to you? Sorry, number 5 is, what am I doing every day to become that person? That's someone you see yourself as a diamond. Number 6 is, what am I currently reading? Number 7 was, blank is a sideline accountability partner that pushes and encourages me. Then number 8, am I making time to fill my cup with things that are important to me? You can get burnout really fast. And I have been through many a season of burnout, or just like mental, I'm done, like I can't focus on this anymore. And those seasons often come because I'm not either being creative in other avenues or allowing, I'm a 5 wing 4. The Enneagram is not the end all be all, but it has helped me understand myself as far as my needs versus other people's needs. Some people need to be around people. And so when you're locked up in your house and you're just watching kids, you need to schedule some time in with your friends. You need to get in a weekly Bible study that has childcare or whatever it is. You got to be around people, right? And that's important. For me, I have to make space for myself to be alone, and I have to make space for myself and choose to use that time wisely to be alone with the Lord, to get into his word, to choose to exercise or stretch or whatever it is. But like, I have to have that alone time in order to reset mentally so that I can fire on all cylinders. Otherwise, my mind is completely just a jumbled mess. And so what is important to you? Is it important that you're doing one-on-ones with your kids? Is it important that you have a date night with your spouse? Is it important that you guys are attending a marriage retreat later this year and you need to make enough money to pay for it? Like, is that on your calendar? Are you purposefully making time to fill your cup with things that are important to you? Even if that is walking around Target with a Starbucks cup in your hand, that's okay. If that makes you feel human and resets you and gives you, the will to move forward, schedule out you some time. Number 9, am I willing to do what it takes this month and this year to bring about the change and growth that I want to see? Because we talked about this in our team call. Thank the Lord that this type of business and this type of opportunity gives you the freedom to have your own schedule and your own time, but sometimes that can be our own worst enemy if we don't lead ourselves well, right? And I know that's definitely been one of my biggest struggles, is being my own boss, because I tell myself that no, and I don't have to do things. If someone else is telling me something, I'll be like, okay, I'll go do that. So are you willing to do what it's going to take to get your goals? Number 9, am I willing to do what it takes this month and this year to bring about the change and growth I want to see? And just think for a second, what does that look like? Hopefully your answer is yes. But if it is yes, what are some of those things that you might have to change? Jot down, a couple of those things. What are some of the things that you're going to have to commit to? What are some of the things you might have to stop doing for a season in order to have time to reach the goals that you want to reach? What are some of the things that might help you carve out that time? Maybe investing in a babysitter once a week so that you've got some clear headspace. Maybe it's getting a meeting together with your spouse so he's on board with not watching Netflix every single night because you want to bring him to Orlando or Hawaii or wherever it is that we're going to be going, right? What are your goals? And number 10 is something that I want each of us to understand. This question is here for our team, not just so that we know, but so that we can communicate. And number 10 is, the top thing I need from my sponsor is. And that's going to be different for each of us. Some of us need a lot of encouragement. Some of us are just like, just throw me a bone every once in a while, send me a $10 Starbucks gift card because I did a great job. Some of us are like, I need you to call me at least once a week and check on me and make sure that I'm alive. Like, what is it? And the second part of this is that just as we all hear in marriage counseling, like our spouses are not, they don't have telepathy. They can't read our mind. Neither can your sponsor. So we cannot be disappointed and frustrated if you're not getting what you want when you're not willing to ask for it or clearly communicate it. Because just like you were kind of thrust into the form of leadership and level that you're at, we didn't apply for these jobs and we did not apply in the order and hierarchy that we're in. And we all have different giftings. And so just because someone's your sponsor, just because they're at a higher level than you, doesn't mean that their gift and what they're doing is going to fill exactly the need that you have if it's not being clearly communicated. Okay. So I know I literally have to tell my girls all the time, I'm like, I know I suck at this. Like, I am a 5. I'm a 5 wing 4. I'm very introverted. I hate to be on the phone and I avoid it like the plague. And I don't mean to, because I love my people, but I know that I'm not communicating with them well. And I know that I'm not, talking to them as much as they probably need to. And they're doing great and they do just fine, but do they probably still want to hear from me a little bit more? Yeah. And so I need to be in tune with what their specific needs are so that I can meet those specific needs. Because guess what? We've all got families. We're all busy. This is all somewhat of a side hustle, hopefully more full-time than anything for most of us. And so we don't want to put the emotional baggage and disappointment on ourselves, but also have to be like, well, I should be added to your list of children to take care of. When your life is crazy, you should also know and understand my needs, right? Like, we want to be selfless in that as well. But if you need something, ask for it. If you need to be shouted out on 4 different pages, y'all, I have made my shout out graphics for years. I make them myself and I send them to my upline and I say, hey, can you post this here, here, and here? Why? Because it's important to me that they're posted and I don't expect them to know what's going on and to have time to make a graphic. So I want it done. I'm going to ask for that, right? If I wanted coaching calls regularly with Jessica, and she'd be gracious enough to do that for me, but I would need to ask for it. I don't expect her to just text me and call me and be like, hey, girlfriend, I have all the time in the world. Not that I have one of the biggest teams in Plexus or anything, but I just figured you might want to call every week, communicate your needs and then continue to do that. If you need to ask for what you need, don't be afraid to do that. It doesn't mean that someone doesn't love you. It just means that we need to help each other love each other. And your needs are important and they need to be met, but you need to help people meet those needs so that you're not disappointed in all of those things. Okay. That took a long time, but don't you feel like that's just good things to think about? I just feel like moving into New Year, resetting our mindset, those are important things to think about. And even that last one, how are you going to get support and make sure that you've got what you need? Okay. Second thing that we're going to do for this power hour. It is January, y'all. That means we have got a full year of Plexus things that are happening. And it all starts with Super Saturday. If you have not registered for Super Saturday yet, I need you to go and register now. I want you to go on your team page, search Super Saturday, because I can't share links that are clickable in here anyway. Go find the link, search in your email, whatever it is, and you need to click on it and register because it is happening January 15th. If you have already registered, your job in the next 3 minutes that we're giving this is to share with your team or at least 3 of your people that you have signed this year or that are working on your team to make sure that they are registered for Super Saturday. It is a digital Super Saturday. And what that means is that they can log in from anywhere. Hopefully you guys are working on getting together with some local friends, whether or not you're going to be just at someone's house watching this 3-hour thing or meet up for coffee in the morning and, all have your headphones on, whatever it is, be registered for it. Try and plug in with some local friends to jump in and watch this. One day, potentially they will have Super Saturdays back in person, but until then we get to kind of drive that boat. Super Saturday is hugely important because not only do they always release fun and exciting details and things, there's always great communication and where we get to be on pulse and on track with our corporate team. We get to know a little bit more of the ins and outs of what they have as far as business goals for the company, and we get to come alongside them with that. There's always great training from amazing people. I've heard some of the lineup of the people that will be speaking, and you're not going to want to miss that. So make sure it's on your calendar. It's Saturday, January 15th, Eastern time. It's going to be 12 to 3. And I don't do time zones, so minus your hours from that. But Super Saturday, hopefully you have taken this time as I have been speaking to make sure you're signed up, share that with your teams, and let's all be on board for making Super Saturday a legit thing. If you're a diamond or a sapphire, we get to go to, I always get it mixed up. Carissa, are we going to Scottsdale or Phoenix? We fly into Phoenix, but is it in Scottsdale? What's happening? I don't even know. Anyway, we're going to be there live because they are showing us some new glimpses of things that I am super excited about. And when they are released, I'm not sure, so I'm not going to say anything. Spoiler alert. When that stuff is released, you're going to be real excited. So don't miss Super Saturday and get excited about what your diamonds and sapphires are going to be hearing while we're there in person. And hopefully nobody is sneaking anything around, but you know what I mean? Just get excited. Okay, the next thing that I want to make sure you're aware of is that if you haven't signed up for convention yet, which convention, if Super Saturdays are all teams go pep rally, convention is like the Super Bowl. Okay. Convention is Plexus Super Bowl. And we have not met together in a big space in a long time. And this is going to be amazing. So if you do not already have on your calendar, June 21st through 24th, Go write it down right now. June 21st through 24th. Thank you, Megan. You need to look at those dates. You need to see who's going to be watching your kids. If you want to bring your spouse with you, he needs to be taking off work. If you're working, you need to be making sure that you're able to take off work. It is transformative for you as a person and for your business to attend convention. And I'm not even kidding you. From the dance parties with silent disco, to the incredible keynote speakers, to the downtime with your teams, to just seeing Plexus plastered all over massive spaces changes how you feel about your business and what you're a part of like nothing else. And trust me, I've been to Hawaii now, I've been to Mexico, I've been to multiple leaders retreats, all of the things. And convention, even as an introvert, is my favorite thing. I remember my first year to convention, I was only a gold when I signed up. I went gold in January of 2016. And actually that was my first Super Saturday and I wasn't gold yet, but I was so excited because I knew that I should be going gold later that month. And they were like asking everybody to stand up at their certain ranks. And I was like, oh, should I stand up for gold? I'm only a silver, but I know I'm going to go gold. Like I was so excited at Super Saturday. And then I was really nervous to sign up for convention, but Jessica was like, it's going to sell out. It's going to sell out. They're going to run out of tickets. And I did have this level of FOMO because I'm like, well, what if I do want to go later? I don't want to not be able to go if I make that choice. And by the time convention rolled around, I was Ruby and heck yeah, I wanted to go. So I was so glad that I signed up and they should be reopening convention signups at Super Saturday. Okay. So that's just something you need to go ahead and plan. You're going to do it. You're going to grab some people to get on that boat with you. And whether you're going to drive to Ohio or fly to Ohio or walk to Ohio, doesn't matter, right? We're going to do those things. So June 21st through 24th, don't miss it. Make it a priority to invest in being a part of this company, be a part of this team. I think one of the things that I had to fight through was, don't have that cool mentality of like, oh, well, I don't need that, or that's not my vibe, or I know like that's just so cheesy, or all of the things. And like, no, be a part of our community, be a part of the fun, and be a part of the mission that Plexus is putting out there. Like, it's okay to go nuts and it's okay to be goofy and silly. Like, we take ourselves too seriously, that's when people want to punch us in the face, right? So don't take yourself too seriously. Come be a part of the fun and don't miss convention. Okay. What time is it? 9 o'clock. Good. We've got 30 minutes to do some actual other IPAs. Everyone on here is part of 21 Hard, right? Because we're all Tamara and down. So I just wanted to double check on that before we start going through that. Some things about 21 Hard that you need to know, and this is a repeat for my team, sorry, because we just talked about this. If you have invited people to do 21 Hard with you and they have joined and requested to join the page, they will not be approved if they will not answer the membership questions. There's like 550 pending requests right now. Like, there's no way we can know who everybody is and double check if they have paid. Okay. So your job is to make sure that you have a list of people that you have invited and you're checking with them to see if they've paid their $5, they have their 4 products. And if they have already requested to join and are still pending in the group, you need to reach out to your closest jewel or diamond upline and give them a list and say, I've double checked. These people have for sure paid, but they're still pending. Okay. Because if I have a list of names, or if your upline has a list of names, we can search through those pending people and say, okay, approve, approve, approve. But what we're not going to do is bulk add a bunch of people that have not met their requirements and let them earn prizes that people should be earning, right? We don't want them to earn this over $5,000 in cash prizes right now. So that can be your job, to help love those people well, to make sure they're getting into the group. I think if you go back to the group, like let's say I'm someone and I requested to join and I decided not to answer the questions, or I only answered a couple, or I hadn't paid yet. I'm pretty sure when you go back into the group, you can answer those questions again, or it still prompts you to answer the questions or change your answers for those. But then also just make sure we're checking on people, because the group starts next Monday. There's some great countdown posts that are already happening, and potentially 500 people are missing those because they have not answered these membership questions. And we want to make sure that they're getting, what they're excited about and getting prepared for that as well. So make your list of people that you have invited. Help some of your newer people. If you're like gold or above and you've got some silvers on your team, or maybe you're ruby and above, you've got some golds on your team that are inviting people, double check on those people and make sure they're checking on their people, because this is something we've all been, posting on social media and making sure. So let's make sure we're taking the time to help our people help their people as well, collecting those names, making sure they're plugged in, making sure they know where to go, so that when the 10th comes around, people aren't lost and messaging you like crazy or still stuck. Specifically your own people. Okay, so let's not worry about membership right now, but let's say you've added 3 people, maybe 10 people to 21 Hard yourself. Do you have a list handy of those people? One of the things I know about myself is that if it is out of sight, it is completely out of my mind. I literally can sign 3 people up, 6 people up, and within weeks be like, who did I even sign up this month? I have to have a written list of people, because life is nuts. It's not, I don't love those people, or they were just a number or just a customer, but make sure you've got a list of people so that you can be checking on them. I know some of your teams may be doing a thread in addition to the 21 Hard page. Make sure your people are in that thread. Are you sharing those countdown posts to that thread? But for sure, right now, get a list of people that you have personally helped. And then maybe jot down some of your leaders or your silvers and golds who need help helping their people, so that no one's falling through the cracks on your team, because this is an incredible business building opportunity for you to grow your team. So let's take 2 minutes to do that. I know a lot of you have been doing it while I'm chatting. I'm just a chatty person, which is funny because I'm also completely an introvert. So right now, if you are just jumping on or anything like that, we are making a list of all the people who we have invited to join us in 21 Hard, so that we can easily check on them. We're also double checking who's paid and who could still be pinning into the group. Right. Next thing that we are going to do is send some actual invites. Guess what? Nobody's going to know to join us and do this with us if we don't ask them to. That is something that I know you might avoid, is starting conversations and reaching out. But guess what? It is necessary for you to grow your business. Maybe less than 1% of people, I made that up, but probably will reach out to you and ask you like, hey, what you got going on with Plexus this month? I was thinking about it. So starting conversations is important. And I would love to see some good conversation starters. So I just typed one in. Reach outs do not need to be super long. What you're trying to do is start a conversation. And if it's too long and you give them everything, there's nothing for them to say back to you. And if you don't end in a question, there's nothing for them to respond with. Okay. So rule of thumb for reach outs is it doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You're starting a conversation and you're going to try and end in a question, because a lot of times people are like, no one responds to my messages. And I'm like, well, you told them everything they needed to know, and then you didn't end in a question. So what response are you looking for? They just read it and were like, cool, thanks for the info. Check. So here's an easy one. Hey, we're doing a fun mini version of the 75 hard for a good reset. Obviously, it already is January. I had this typed up before January came. And you could say, and we got to get our friends plugged in here in the next few days. I'm starting a list of friends who are doing that. Are you looking for accountability with health goals in the new year? Obviously, you can change that because that was one for December. I just should have read that already. I'm so excited about this. I need this. What are your health goals for this year? Have you ever heard of 75 hard, or have you done that before? Because let's be honest, I tried to do 75 hard and I quit after 4 days because it was so intense. Okay. So the fact that this is a mini version and it's very pared down, people know what 75 hard is because people post about it all the time. And the fact that this one's a little bit more attainable and better for reaching our healthy lifestyle goals. So I would love to see a waterfall of sharing reach out verbiage. I know Amanda Poe's got some good stuff. Megan, you probably got some good stuff. Who else on here has got some good reach out verbiage? Conversation starters. Doesn't have to be crazy. What has been working for you as you've been reaching out to people? Let's share that together, and let's set a timer for, it's 9:10. So let's go 5 minutes. Okay. Your goal is to send at least 5 reach out messages to someone who you have either talked to about Plexus before, but have not talked about 21 hard with, or completely new conversations that you're starting. On your mark, get set, go. Okay. Next thing that I would say on 21 Hard, if you have not made a public post yet, or if it's been a couple days since you've shared those story graphics that we have all been sharing on our team pages, you need to do that. It's 9:15 tonight. It's still a great time to make a post if you haven't posted today. Otherwise, go ahead and write up a post that you're going to share tomorrow. Find a great picture of yourself from that you've had recently, or maybe one from where you've been in a good season of working out or something like that. Like maybe if you're excited about water intake, find a good picture of you with your water cup, whatever it is, go ahead and get that together. Let's get a post together. I know on our team page, we shared some examples of some, fun ways to post about this, but just something that's engaging. Share your story of why you're doing this, and then invite people and ask people if they want to do it with you, that you've got it. If anybody feels like sharing their post verbiage, please feel free to do that in the comments. That's one thing we love about Power Hours, is that we all can kind of learn from each other. But let's take about 3 minutes. It's 9:17. So let's take to like 9:20, 9:21, and we will just get a post started, get it typed up in your notes, or get it typed up on your Facebook, and then you can save that draft and post it in the morning if you've already posted today. Okay, if you haven't finished that post, just make sure you save draft before you get out of Facebook or anything like that. Let's see, it's 9:23, and I just want to do a couple of things and maybe to have you make a list of things that you can do in your daily IPA, since that the mindset thing took a big chunk, but you know what, it's important and it's okay. But I just wanted to run down some of the things that were on my list for us to do together. And one of those was just a little list of some customer care things. After we finish a whole year, it's really good to take inventory of who you have that's ordering regularly. Who did you sign up in 2021? Because guess what? Even if they fell off the wagon, they're really not that far removed. And after being in this business for 6 years, if they've tried it once, they're really likely to jump back in and try it again. And so it's something that's a really good practice to have lists of people that you know that are your people that are faithful so that you can love on them well, but also people that are kind of in and out of season so that you can continually check up on them and just reach out and invite them to things like 21 Hard, because it's a great reason for someone to get back on the wagon. We've had a lot of our team that is jumping back into their products or back into the community because of this challenge. So you can go into your back office and you can click on your points and rank in your dashboard, click on the number of your points and rank. And that will take you to your full report where you can search anybody. And so down at the bottom, you can go to I think you have to populate the data now, and you can sort by join date. And what that's going to do is allow you to see all of the people in order who joined you in 2021. And you can, also, if you are great with Excel or using any of those things, you can also sort by who's your level 1, who's your level 2, and when they joined, but mainly you want to look at your level 1s. Okay. Who are your level 1 ambassadors and VIPs that joined you in 2021 so that you can work on touching base with them, connecting with them, telling them that you appreciate them if they need any help with troubleshooting. But again, out of sight, out of mind. We don't just sign people up and it's one and done, right? They are now a part of this thing, and it's going to be something that they're involved with, whether they're out of season or in season. 9 times out of 10, they're going to come back and try something or go through something and need something that we have. And remember, that has happened to me multiple times this year. People that haven't taken our products for 3 years or so have now all of a sudden gone through something and they're like, I need to get back on that. So find that report, sort by join date, and then make a list of those people who have joined you in 2021 so that you can love on them. Easy thing to do is to send voice memos. You saw me doing that a second ago. So I've been sending voice memos. When you send a voice memo, you don't always have to worry about verbiage because you're just talking to one person. Sometimes I like to send a voice memo that is very generic, but ask the right questions or says the thing that I need to say, and I'll send it to myself. And then guess what? I can forward that to multiple people at a time that are in that same situation. So something that I could do with those people would be, here's a chunk of people that joined me last year that haven't ordered in maybe the last 3 to 6 months. And I'm going to send a voice memo to myself and I'm going to say, hey friend, I hope you're having an incredible new year. I just wanted to tell you that I'm so thankful that you joined me last year. I've just been looking back at some of my reports. I'm so grateful that you started your Plexus journey last year. And I know it has been absolutely crazy, but I did just want to check back in with you because so many of us are restarting for this new year and jumping into an accountability challenge. And I know that we had talked about some big health goals for you last year. And I just wanted to double check with you this year to see if any of those goals have changed for you, if there's anything that I can do to serve you or support you as we're beginning 2022. I mean, I just made that up out of my hiney, y'all. Like, it's fine. You just talk to someone. What point are you trying to get across? And you're just asking them a question, right? So you can not have to spend all day sending voice memos if you're going to group some people together, and you can kind of make it generic like that and reach out. Send the voice memo to yourself in Messenger, and then you can click the little arrow and forward it to multiple people at a time. If they're still ordering, I think it's always a great idea to just remind people that you appreciate them. Like, I was just looking back at all of the people in our community and our team for 2021, and I just am blown away. And I'm just so thankful that you're a part of what God is doing in my life, but also just in this overall, craziness of the world right now, that you're in this with me and that you're focusing on your health too. It's just encouraging to have people that are like-minded on this with me. So thank you. And then, of course, we want to be inviting people to that 21 hard. So using that customer care option, go back further, look at your inactives. We used to call them white lines. And if you hear that and you're like, what are people talking about white lines? Well, back in the day when people would turn off and not order anymore, their line in the back office would be white. And so we would sort by all the white lines. And you know what, as a diamond, after 6 years, more of my back office is white lines than they would be green lines. And that's okay. Why? Because a lot of those people are out of season now. But guess what? I think I read a statistic one time that said that people are 7 times more likely to try something again than they are to try something for the first time. And Josie, you're like the queen too, of like always making sure you're reaching out to low hanging fruit. Like, it's people that are just like, they already are comfortable with you. They're already familiar with you. They're already kind of like understand, and they're not scared of what we have to offer. But is it a season for them that they need what we have, or that they are really looking for something and that they're really grateful that someone reached out to them because they've been dealing with something they haven't told people about? Like, allow God to use us in that way to love people that have fallen off the wagon, right? We're not just disappointed and discard people when they stop their products. They still have goals. We still love them. We just have to run with who's in season. But guess what? Seasons change, right? We talked about that on our team call. We are creatures of seasons. So just those things to keep in your mind. I think also, if you did not do a Christmas email, I fully intended to do a Christmas email, and I was going to copy everybody's. You can export your detailed genealogy out of your back office from that same report. You can export it into Excel, and then you can copy the whole list of everybody's emails, whether you want to do 1 through 3 or all your level 1s or your whole team. You can copy all those emails and paste them straight into Gmail. Did you know that you could do that? You can. I like to put it into BCC because then everybody can't see everybody's emails. But my intention was, you know what? I can't send a Christmas card to everybody. I was going to do a Christmas email with a picture at the top and just a little blurb about the year and being thankful for people. Jody she's my level 2. She did this really cool thing where she, on the back of her Christmas card, was like, if you text me, I have a little gift that I can give you. And she's like, only a handful of people ever texted her. So she just sent them $5 Starbucks gift cards. You could do a little incentive code or like a money back or free shipping on your next order, like anything like that. But do a New Year email. Have that be something on your list where you're just like excited for people's new year. And maybe it's a little late by the time you get it done, that 21 hard's already over, but guess what? It's still the first month out of 12 months of your business year. And maybe great to just touch people, get in their inbox, have a great picture of yourself, your family, or your team. We'd love to have you in convention with us in June. It's something that everybody gets to come to, and we're just excited to spend time together after so many years of not being able to gather, blah, blah, blah. Whatever is on your heart to share with the people in your back office. Maybe do an easy email like that. You don't have to do a MailChimp. You don't have to have Flowdesk. You can literally just import a picture into Gmail, write up a blurb, sign it with a sweet signature and copy their email addresses. Doesn't have to be hard. Okay. I just want to end this with a quick thank you and a prayer. You guys have listened to me chat for an hour, and hopefully a lot of this was just good direction and good mindset stuff for you today. And I will make sure that this recording is posted so you can share it with your teams. I do hope that you'll join us on Mondays. We've got some really fun people on our teams that are just gifted in so many different ways. And every one of these monthly power hours have been so fun to see our different teams, how we're just, made and created with different giftings and different ways we work. And this is how One Plexus works and how we learn together and grow together, because you're going to resonate maybe with something that one person does that one person doesn't do. And you're going to be able to help someone on your team with some of these tools that you're hearing. So check out the graphic again and get these Mondays on your call for Eastern time, Most of them are in the evenings, but we do have one at the end of the month that's going to be in the morning. I'm super excited about Josie doing that morning one because she is so great at end of the month stuff, and you're not going to want to miss that on that last day of the month. So anyway, love you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight, and I'll be sure to post that recording for you. Happy New Year.